Malaysia might be home to laksa, one of the finest foodstuffs there is, but are their football stadiums just as rich and spicy? Let's find out. Here are the Malaysia Super League stadiums. This stadium is named after the current ruler of Johor State. But because I'm not such a fan of stadiums being named after politicians still in power, I'm gonna pretend that it's named after a sultana, a dried grape. Sultana Ibrahim Stadium is inspired by another foodstuff, kind of. The unique exterior in particular is supposed to resemble the humble banana leaf. It also happens to be the newest and most technologically advanced stadium in the league. So we've certainly started with a bang. This is future me here telling you that Sultana Ibrahim has since become the king of Malaysia. So please don't ban me from Malaysia, Mr. Sultana. Darul Aman Stadium. This is much more representative of a typical Malaysian stadium than the last one. It still includes an exterior that's inspired by something local, more so traditional Malaysian architecture than leaves. And unfortunately, yes, the running track is also a common addition in this country. So it's pretty typical in that respect as well. Still, it seems like a solid all-round stadium. Sultan Muhammad IV Stadium. In my opinion, Muhammad IV has got to be one of the rare sequels that's actually better than the original. This Sultan is not a current leader, he's dead I believe, so I won't call him a Sultana. Anyway, this is a simple ring donut of a stadium with a mix of bucket seating and terracing. Well, the type of terracing that people sit on rather than stand. Not much going on here. Kuala Lumpur Stadium. Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur. Yes, as strange as it sounds, that is indeed the origin story of this city's name. The Oompa Loompas were integral to the city's tin mining industry back in the day, and koalas are kinda cute, aren't they? Nonsense aside, I do quite like that roof. And it's even better inside as the stadium has been renovated significantly in recent years, which included new seats throughout amongst other things, like the main stand itself, which was built from scratch. Although there is a track, the stands hug it tightly, so spectators are still fairly close to the field. It's a lovely stadium situated on the edge of a lovely park that's got some big ass lizards knocking about in it. Sarawak State Stadium. If you've played cricket, the name Sarawak might sound familiar, because the handle of a cricket bat is often made from layers of Sarawak cane and rubber. There's no cricket going on here. Although the 1998 Commonwealth Games in Malaysia was the first and only Commonwealth Games to include men's cricket, oddly enough. That was of course held in Kuala Lumpur. Anyway, we haven't even said anything about the stadium itself yet, which is wrong, because there's a lot to say about this very important stadium. First of all, Tuanku Abdul Rahman Stadium. This ground features yet another beautiful exterior inspired by local architecture. However, inside it seems as if the inspiration came from further afield. From Armenia? Is that an Armenian flag? No, wrong colours, that's just the club flag I guess. Yes, there it is. And there it is in the form of the Union Jack.
Actually, it's only called the Union Jack when it's being flown on a ship. You call it the Union Flag when it's on land, idiot.
Everyone knows one of those people. I like to call them actuallys. Don't be an actually. MBPJ Stadium. Selangor are usually based in another part of the Kuala Lumpur area, which is technically another city. However, they are playing here whilst their usual ground, Shah Alam Stadium, is being renovated. Well, demolished and rebuilt, I believe. Speaking of which, this ground is kind of like a smaller, less spectacular version of Shah Alam Stadium. Although there is one aspect that I prefer at this ground, and that is the colourful exterior. That's Portugal levels of colour. And here we are sitting in the stand, and if you strain your eyes and look over the horizon, you'll see that there's a football field in the distance. Can you see it? I didn't think you could get a more generic name than Kuala Lumpur Stadium. But then bam, City Stadium. And it is a fairly generic design overall, however it does have an interesting history. The British commissioned this stadium and started building it just a month after World War II ended. It opened a couple of years later. Although I believe there was already a football ground of some sort on the site since the 30s. Either way you look at it, it's the oldest stadium in the league, and indeed the country. Perak Stadium. Interestingly, the site on which this stadium was built was previously a prison, used to house communists. To be clear, this was when Malaysia was still under British rule, and the Cold War was getting hot. Capitalism certainly won out in Malaysia, but what they do share with communist countries is a love of bloody running tracks. Are we going to see another football-specific stadium in this league, or what? It's hard not to just say same stadium, different colours. Likas Stadium. You see, I wasn't going to point out that the name Likas sounds a bit wrong to the anglophonic ear, but I feel that I have to, given that in 1996, Likas Stadium hosted the Sukma Games. You can't make this stuff up. Well, you probably could. I'm sure there are plenty of English words that sound bad in Malay as well. Anyway, it was renovated prior to those games, but more importantly, it was renovated just last year, including the installation of a new video board. Darul Makmur Stadium. I am repeating myself, but I do appreciate that they've livened up the concrete exterior with a splash of colour. Because more often than not, that type of exterior would just be left as bare concrete. They also recently replaced what was a drab burgundy running track with a vibrant blue one. You wouldn't expect all this colour at a stadium located in a city that's called Kuantan. Why so? Well, translated into English, Kuantan means burnt gravy. You'd have to mess up pretty bad to burn your gravy. We are back to the Sultanas. This time it's Sultana Mizan Zainul Abidin Stadium. It's a venue that has had some major issues in the past. This roof has collapsed not once but twice. They even altered the design of the original roof after the first collapse, so it wouldn't happen again. It obviously did. And that even damaged the running track on one occasion. That doesn't matter because the track has since been replaced with artificial turf, which looks a lot better in my opinion. And I guess they just gave up on having a roof here. Which is a shame because rain can come down hard in Malaysia. And those were the Malaysian Super League stadiums. As for my favourite, well, it's hard to go past Sultana the First. Even if you disregard the fact that it's brand new, it's the only rectangular stadium in the league. So it's an easy choice. Thanks for watching, have a good one.